Welcome to a very unique episode of the games we play by Playcafe. My name is Leo, and for this one, I want this to be between you and me. If you're a Magic player, you're either very new because of the upcoming Final Fantasy set, you're experienced and you're excited for the Final Fantasy set, or you're returning and you're getting pulled in by the new Final Fantasy set. Isa ka lang dyan eh. And that's the reason why you're here and why you're watching this episode. You're gonna want to listen to what I have to say because I'm gonna give you the lowdown on exactly how to play Magic the Gathering if you don't know how to play just yet, or how I would build a pre-release deck so that you can succeed in your upcoming pods this weekend. If you haven't yet, please click like and subscribe to get more and enjoy the rest of the content we make here on Playcafe. You can come on over and visit us. We are in Upper McKinley in Tuscany, open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. on weekdays, and on weekends, 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. We play a whole bunch of games. That's why this podcast exists, to talk about the games we play. But this one is very specifically about Magic the Gathering. First up, I'm going to teach you the basics, how to read cards, how to play, and then we're going to build a pre-release deck. Ganun kasimple. Because once you open your Final Fantasy pre-release pack, you're going to be on your own. So I'm going to arm you in this episode to know exactly what to do and to get you more Final Fantasy. Let's come on down here. To learn the basics of Magic the Gathering, we're going to be using this guide card over here. Makukuha ninyo to in all of the currently printed precons that are pre-constructed decks for Commander and other Magic the Gathering sealed products that are full decks. It basically talks through your turn, and this is what I'll follow so that you can understand quickly how cards work and what you can do during your turn, and we'll get you playing like that. Okay? So, first up, going through a turn, you begin. Untap, which is ready your cards. This is tapped. This is untapped. And then you draw a card. So, obviously, we like cards, so we draw cards. So, let's say this is your deck. You untap and you draw. Okay? Simple. Next, main phase. Play a land, only one per turn, and cast creatures in other spells. Now, we get to the meat. Let's look at some cards here. These are lands. This is a plains, this is a mountain, this is an island. These came from the Dragons of Tarkir Precon Jeskai Striker, kaya ito yung mga kulay. And these lands provide the resources you need to play cards. Talk about that later. But this gives white, this gives blue, this gives red. There's a green and a black land or color mana, and there's colorless. Now, what does that matter? That matters when you're casting the specific kinds of cards in Magic the Gathering that have specific requirements. Now, it says here, play a land, one per turn. So, that means if your hand has multiple lands every turn, just pick one, and that is my land per turn. Right there. Alright? Now from here, we can cast other spells or creatures. Other spells include things like artifacts or the other card types. We'll start with artifacts first. Simple lang kasi to. Artifacts are like little trinkets in Magic the Gathering. They're things. They're objects. And this here is a Sol Ring. Alright? Sol Ring. It says when you tap it, go sideways, you create this mana. It's 2 mana of any color. You see this? That's a plains, that's white. This is red. This is blue, diba? But the Sol Ring gives you 2 of colorless. So there are card costs up here that say colorless. See, that's gray, that's red, red. You need 3 of any color or colorless and 2 red. So dapat 2 mountains, right? To cast the Caldera Pyramo. Or let's say you want to cast the Young Pyromancer. You need a red and any color. That's how that works, right? So if you cast the Sol Ring, meaning you pay 1 of any color, you now have a Sol Ring. And the Sol Ring gives you 2 colorless. Simple. That's what an artifact does. There are other artifacts in the game that do other things. So just read them, and that's it. Most artifacts can do things when they drop. So pagkalapag yan, artifact. Pow! That's it. Simple. Okay? Next, creatures. A chunk of the game will be affected by creatures. And I told you already how to cast creatures. Diba? May cost yan. This is the Young Pyromancer. So what else is on the card? Name, cost. This is their creature type right here. Human Shaman. And that's a set symbol. That's a rarity. It says here, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, we'll see what that is later, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. So it makes other creatures, because that's what creature tokens are. Creature tokens are other cards from outside the game that get created in the game. And that means this spits out 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. What are 1/1? And then, this is the creature's stats. So a 1/1 is basically a 1 power, 1 toughness. Young Pyromancer is a 2/1. 2 power, 1 toughness. What is that? Basically 2 is its damage, 1 is its life. We'll talk about how that works later. But this is the creature card, right? So let's say you had these two lands, a red and a white, mountain and plains. To play the Young Pyromancer, just tap both, pay the red and the any color. That's it. Young Pyromancer's in. You now have a Young Pyromancer. So how do you want to trigger its abilities, right? You want to play instants and sorceries. This is an instant. Swords to Plowshares. Instant. You need 1 white to play it. So 1 white. I'll play it. Instants are single-use cards that can be used almost any time in the game. Kaya nga instant, di ba? Just, whoop, I'll play this. I'll play this. Instant. It says, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to the power. So let's say your opponent has a giant creature. Your opponent has a very strong creature. Let's say your opponent has a Caldera Pyramaw. Diba? This thing's scary. It's a dragon. It's a 3/3 flying dragon. Oh, andyan siya. I will pay 1 mana to play Swords to Plowshares. Instant. Exile. It means take it out of the game. You're gone. That's how this works. Pay for it, do the thing, goes to the graveyard. That's an instant. Now what is a sorcery? A sorcery is the same thing. It's a one-time effect. You pay the mana, you do it, but you can only do it during your turn. Specifically, in the main phase. That is what a sorcery is. Simple. So I pay 1 blue. Oh, what I'm blue? I have blue mana. Pay 1 blue, do this. Scry 2, then draw a card. To scry 2, look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them on the bottom and the rest on the top in any order, and then draw. See? So ganun lang. You basically just play with the top card of your deck, draw, and then you're done. That's how a sorcery works. So artifacts stay on the board, creatures stay on the board, lands stay on the board, instants and sorceries do not. They do the thing, discard pile. That's how you use these cards, and that's what makes tokens for a Young Pyromancer. Next up, there's another card type you might see in-game, and that is called a enchantment. So if creatures are creatures, artifacts are little trinkets or objects, enchantments, yan yung magical manifestations. Basically, para silang magical things that are not objects or creatures. So that's what enchantments are. So same format, right? Cost, ability, text, and then that's it. Most enchantments are like that. They stay on the board, much like creatures do. There you go. So it says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, draw a card. That's a creature, will not draw you a card. Artifacts. You play this, while this is here, that'll draw you a card. Sorcery, that'll draw you a card. Instant, that'll draw you a card. Anything that is not a creature, you play it, Whirlwind of Thought will help you draw a card. Simple. That's what an enchantment is. Now there's another specific kind of enchantment you might see in your games called auras. Yung enchantment, when you play it, andyan lang siya. enchantment auras have to attach to specific kinds of cards. This says enchant creature. So there has to be a legal creature on the board that you can attach shiny impetus to for it to work. And then just read the ability. Once you have a thing to attach to, that enchanted creature gets +2/+2, so its attack and its defense are bigger, and it is goaded. You can read what goaded is here, but that's the effect. And now it says too, whenever enchanted creature attacks, you create a treasure token. You meaning the owner of Shiny Impetus, or whoever controls Shiny Impetus, whether it's on your creature or your opponent's creature, you have that effect. That is what an enchantment aura is. Diba? Okay, so those are enchantments, those are creatures, those are instant sorceries, those are artifacts, those are lands. There are a couple more card types in Magic the Gathering that may appear in games you play, and those are battles and planeswalkers. They're printed very specifically. They look very different from all these other card types, and they have their own rules. But for the sake of moving this tutorial forward, we'll learn as we go. So pag nakita nyo lang sila, that's when you'll learn how to use it. Planeswalkers are basically other wizards that have abilities that you can attack with creatures para they go away. Alright, you can kill planeswalkers, make them go away. Battles have a one-time effect, and then they come into play. Another player has to defend them. If you can beat the battle or defeat the battle, you get another effect. They're dynamic types of permanents. They're dynamic types of cards that stay on the board that you can interact with. Long and short of it. But that's basically your main phase. You play these cards. And then, what you do next is go to combat. So if you're done playing all your cards, or let's say may board ka na. Oh, ito yung board mo, right? This is how your board looks like. You now can go to combat. You declare attackers. So when you declare attackers, you declare all of the creatures you want to attack with. So for the sake of simplicity, we only have one creature here. Your opponent has one creature there. I will attack. Object of the game is to take your opponent down to 0 health. You start at either 40 for a multiplayer game or 20 in a one-on-one game. You take them down to 0, you win. Your opponent runs out of cards in their deck, and they try to draw. They lose. You win the game. All right? So combat is your most often way of winning the game. And that's what this phase is all about. So you declare your attackers, and what these creatures will want to do is they'll want to deal this number here to your opponent's health. So this is a 2-1 plus the 2-2 this gives, so this is a 4-3, no? Math is hard. 4-3. But it's not that simple. What happens next is your opponent declares blockers. So if you declared all your attackers, in this case, isa-isa lang yan, your opponent will then declare their blockers onto your creatures. So pipili nila sino yung babangga, magbablock. There are some abilities that declare and say what you can block with or not. Like, let's say, flying. This dragon has flying, see? Caldera Pyramo. If it were attacking, and I didn't have a flyer, lulusot lang yan, it'll go straight to the face. But, if it were blocking, and I have just the young Pyromancer, it can fly down, swoop down, and block me. Simple. So let's say I attacked, and this blocked. Now we go to the last step, combat damage is dealt. So how does combat work? So what you do when you go into combat is you check your power and you deal it to your opponent's toughness. And you do the same for the defender. Their power to your toughness. So what happens here? I bumped a 2-1 into a 3-3. The 2 will deal its 3 here, and the 3 will deal the 1 there. Who wins? The Caldera Pyramo. So the Caldera Pyramo takes down the Pyromancer. Pyromancer goes to the graveyard. And combat's over. It's that simple. But you'll notice na merong 2, diba? There was 2 damage on the young Pyromancer that it dealt to the Caldera Pyramo. That's where this last phase will come into. We'll get to that later. But from there, when you're done with all of your attacks and you resolved every single block, every single attack, there's another main phase. So again, main phase, play everything. Combat, declare all attackers, declare all blockers, fight. There's another main phase. Another chance for you, if you want, to play other cards, play a land if you haven't yet. And then, when you decide you're done, you go to the end step. Creatures heal. So all creatures that were dealt damage that survived, meaning there was some toughness left, remove all that damage. So 3 health ulit si Caldera Pyro. It fought the young Pyromancer, killed the young Pyromancer, and it survived. Now you take off all the damage. It's a 3/3 again. And then you pass a turn. Now it's your opponent's turn again. Rinse and repeat. They will do this now. Untap, they'll draw, they'll play a land, they'll cast, they'll combat, do it all over again. Until one of y'all has 0 health, or you run out of cards. That is Magic the Gathering. I know I taught you the game in about 10 minutes, but things add up. All right? So you just punch with creatures, play cards that remove blockers, play cards that search for more cards in your deck, and play dudes that punch your opponent in the face or punch their other creatures. Rinse and repeat, do it again. Again, simple. 0 health, no more cards to draw, or other cards that may say you win the game. And Bob's your uncle. That is the basic rules of Magic the Gathering to get you running. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the pre-release. The second half of this video focuses on a very specific kind of event, and that is Magic the Gathering pre-release events. I'm recording this in the eve of the Final Fantasy MTG collab pre-release set events here at Playcafe. We're holding these from June 6th to 8th. That weekend, Friday to Sunday, there's a pod a day. Join in, and you're going to want to learn how to play a pre-release. Make a pre-release deck. Pero paano yun? How do you do that? It gets very intimidating. You just learned how to play Magic. You just learned how to cast spells, drop your lands, take your opponent down to 0 health. Your boys got you. Don't worry. What you're going to do is you're going to receive a box very similar to this. It'll have a little die, it'll have a promo card, and it'll have 6 packs. This is a pre-release pack from a set back. This is Aether Drift. Previously, the set before this was, the set after this was Tarkir. Those are very specific kinds of pre-release packs, but this one, we'll try to build a deck out of this to show you an example of what you might want to do when you play your pre-release for Final Fantasy. So we're going to follow a simple mnemonic. Bread. You're going to want to follow bread. B-R-E-A-D. What is bread? B. Bombs. You're going to want to look for creatures or cards that can almost single-handedly win you the game. All right? Bombs. Next, R. Removal. Your opponents are looking for B as well. Your opponents are looking for bombs. R are cards that remove these bombs. So look for R, removal. E, evasion. Look for cards that go through your opponent's bombs and your opponent's defenses in case you can't remove them. So B, R, and E interact with each other very, very specifically. A is for aggro. If you're doubting what kind of strategy you want to go for, aggro is an easy go-to. It's hard to fail when everyone is playing with luck based on what they're opening, and your goal is to take your opponent down to 0 health. Aggro is the way to go more often than not, especially if you're not sure what you're trying to do. So just go fast. A is for aggro. And last but not least, D is for duds. Basically, latak, basura. Make sure you know which cards you're looking at that are not B, R, E, or A. And do not be blinded by their effects or their big numbers in case they don't fall into any of these categories. Make sure you can categorize and differentiate duds from the essential cards you want that'll serve your B, R, E, or A. It's that simple. Now what we'll do is we will build a pre-release deck out of these packs and run through our B, R, E, A's, take away the D's, and then we'll see how it runs. All right, let's begin.
Sacrifice. Everybody knows
All right, so this is Aether Drift. I played a few pre-release pods of this myself personally, and I like the set. So first up, there's going to be a token in your packs. Take that out. There will be a basic land. We opened an artifact here. So what I like to do is I like to put them into card types or colors. Colors first, because again, you are limited by the colors you can create and the lands that you can draw and play. Which, by the way, your local store should have lands that you can borrow to use when you play in the pre-release. So dito sa Playcafe, you can ask, pwede po makiaram ng basic lands, can I play and borrow your basic lands? They'll hook you up. So this is a basic land in the pack. That's yours to keep. But if you wanna, again, based on the cards you pull, draw, you wanna borrow basics, pwede yun. So, it's an artifact. That's a gas guzzler.
So this is from 5.
It's an early way to start your engines. This is a mechanic for Aether Drift. Okay, it helps you draw. It's very small. Ideally in a real game, I don't see this serving B, R, E, or A very specifically, but I feel like it's not a D. I don't think so. We'll put that here first. Oh my god. Sky Sovereign, console flagship. This is a bomb. This is a B. This is a B. Because again, as soon as it comes in, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. So, at worst, you just removed something. At best, you're continuing to remove something and smacking dudes. So that's why that's colorless. This goes here. Cloud Spire Coordinator. That's red-white. Momentum Breaker. That's black. Rise from the red, green. Colorless. Green. Black. Green. White. We haven't white yet. Red. No red yet. And blue. So this is Magic the Gathering. We want to go Wooburg, and multicolor. All right. So 1 pack in, and our bombs are colorless. So we're not locked in just yet. We pulled a very good black card here, which can help start our engines faster. We pulled removal. When this enchantment enters, each opponent sacrifices a creature or vehicle of their choice. Each opponent who can't discards a card. So, it's discard or removal. Let's see where this goes from here. Yeah. It's a token. That's a land. So you can play this land if you so desire. You can even play the promo. If you open a promo in a pre-release pack, you can play it. It's a black card. This is a multicolored card. It's a rare. It's Achik Emerald Radiant. It's a Spell Pierce. Sundial Dawn Tyrant. So it's a small 3/3 for 2. It's an artifact. It's white. Road Rage. It's red. Foul Roads. That's a land, so you can play that too if you want. Aether Jacket, colorless. Hazard of the Dunes, it's green. Maximum Overdrive, it's black. Blue. Kickoff Celebrations, red. S3, white. Alright, so pack number 2. I wouldn't say there's any big bombs here. It's more efficient cards, right? This is pretty good because it lets me cast my artifacts here for cheaper. This is an artifact, could be cheaper, so that's pretty good. This is, maybe you can count this as a bomb. It's a big creature here, big cost, 6 drop. Creates insect tokens, so it floods the board. Grows too, but we don't have very many good green or black cards just yet to say I want this. So we'll see. Pack number 3. So this is one of the reasons why I really like limited formats of Magic the Gathering. You get challenged on the go. Diba? Isipin mo like, what can I do with this? How can I build this the best I could? Dune Drifter, multicolored. The Speed Demon! So, this is a mythic. This is a very rare card. And it's a very strong card. Because of this pull, we are more likely to go into black now. It's a flyer. It tramples. Start your engine. So, look, we're throwing back to the Gas Guzzler. Over here. Remember that card? And it's a 5/5. It's huge! And then at the beginning of your end step, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is your speed. So usually your speed starts at 1. So if it's at 1, you lose 1 life, draw a card. Don't worry, life is always worth the cards. So you want to do this. Again, you'll get more access to your B, R, E, and A's with the Speed Demon. So, oh wow, we're almost locked in for black. Haunted Hell Ride, Plant Strike, Intimidation Tactics, Lagarin, Dynamite Diver, Night Market, Beast Rider Vanguard, Pilot, Interference, Rides End. Okay, so pack number 3, we opened a bomb, a clear bomb here, the Speed Demon. So I'm almost locked in for black. What, the second color? Which again is usually what you want to do. You want to pick just 2 colors, because again your mana will define what you can play. I don't know what that second color is. Currently, black is looking good. We pulled a white card over here, Dune Drifter. There's a couple of good white cards here. So that's where we are currently. Let's see where the other packs bring us. That's a token. So there's a Jungle Hollow. Grim Bobble. Afterburner Expert. Halaxion. Pack 4. All the more it's saying go black. I drew a risky shortcut. Draw 2 cards. Each player loses 2 life. Again, more card draw. More velocity. More access to good cards. Halaxion, just 3 mana for a 7/2. Big front there. And then Grim Bobble. 1 mana, give something -2/-2. Just kill things. Also, another Ride's End. That's a removal. Look, exile target, creature, or vehicle. Good card. Currently 2 of those. So about pack 4 in, I'm guessing 70% black-white. Let's see where else we go, or if we're going all in after pack 5. Ooh. Yep, no question. Might really go black-white. Opened up a spot cycle scouter here, just to smooth the next draws because it lets you scry too. Let's open pack 6. Pack 6 locks us in, no question. Look at that, we opened a foil Zahur, Glories Past. And I'm not just saying that because he's a zombie cat warrior. I'm saying it because he's black-white. And he starts our engines very fast. Also opened a Brightfield Mustang. Again, it's a mid creature. But with the direction we're going, black-white na talaga. So, again, you have to recognize where you're strong with your B, your R, and your E's. A, if you're not sure, you know, like aggro if you're not sure. But yeah, duds. These other colors are kulang. Blue, no bombs. Red, no bombs. Green, some big creatures there. Some really good multicolor picks here too. Like again, I got a cheek. I got a Thundering Brood Dragon, right? That thing is huge. We also opened a Lumbering World Wagon, right? Why not? But I feel like it's kulang. There's not enough support. So we're definitely going all in black-white. I'm gonna run through, and then I'll teach you a specific trick that'll help you build your pre-release decks, all right? Let's do that now. All right, so what we did was throw out all the blue, red, and green cards. And now we just kept the black, the white, the artifacts, or colorless cards, some lands that matter to these colors, and, of course, our multicolor cards, which we will now again run through and keep only black and white cards. And then, as if it weren't enough, our promo card is a black-white land. So the Bleach Bone Verge goes into the deck. It helps us because it lets us get black or white mana like that. What? Now listen up. As if finding the right color combination very quickly and so convincingly wasn't enough. Ito, makinig kayo ah. This is important. How many cards in the deck and what are the ratios? Para sure ako na gumagana yung deck ko. You're gonna want to stick to a 40 card deck. It's minimum 40 when you're playing limited or you're playing in this format for a pre-release called sealed. You want to stick to 40 cards and you want to have 23 spells and 17 lands. Let's make that clear again. You want 17 lands and 23 spells. Halo-halo yung spells, ah. Amongst your spells, you're gonna want creatures, you're gonna want instant sorceries, artifacts, just spells, things you pay mana for. And 17 lands. 17 lands. Of the 23, you're gonna want a majority of those to be creatures so that you have a board presence. Right? Things that stay on the board for you to keep attacking your opponents and win the game. So if it's 23, I'd reckon pwedeng 14 creatures, 9 non-creatures. That's a safe ratio. Depends still what you open. So let's try to do that now. Again, 17 lands, 23 spells, majority of spells, creatures. Let's do the spread. All right, preliminary run. These are the black and white cards, including multicolor cards that I would like to play in the deck. So following the 23 spells principle, let's see how much of this can actually go into the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ha! So 23 cards pa lang to. Oh, 20 what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pa lang to. So there's room for 3 more cards. Let's check out our artifacts to see if there's anything we want to play here. Obviously, you want the Sky Sovereign. That's a bomb. 21. Two more slots.
+1/+1 counter.
So there's 2 more cards we can put in. What I did was I separated the creatures from the non-creatures. The thing is, if you're playing too many non-creatures, there's a chance that you just do not forward your board. There's a chance that your board just stays as is and then your opponents remove them all, tapos stuck ka na. So you're gonna want more creatures. So currently I have 10 non-creatures. So I need to add all creatures na to. Para 13 to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11. So 2 more creatures. 12. There's an Aether jacket here. I wonder if this is worth it. So the problem with this, I'm open for one more card. The problem with the Brightfield Glider is it's so tiny. It's literally just a 1/1 vigilance that has a saddle and a card effect when it's saddled. I wonder if this is worth it. Parang hindi. I'll just put the Aether jacket in here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 creatures and 10 non-creatures. So this is your spells. These are your 23 spells. And then we build our land base, which is basically 1, 2, 3 minus the 70, so 14 lands. What I like to do is to check two things after I finish up my land count and my spell count. Two things. One is the color demand, and then the second is your mana curve. So the color demands means what colors my cards need. So since we're in black and white, I'll count the amount of white pips are my cards. So all right, it looks like we're heavy black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 black, 15, 16 black, and white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 to 14. That's the ratio of our swamps the plains needs. And there's room for 14 more lands in our deck. So what I'll do is I'll split that very slightly, favoring black, because we have more black cards. We need more black mana. So 14, lamang siyang konti. What we'll do is 8 to 6. We'll do 8 swamps, 6 plains. Let's grab that now from our basic land box. Again, this should be available at your local game store. Just say, I want to borrow some basics for the pre-release, and they should provide. Just make sure to give it back. They need their lands. Ilan to? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 8 swamps. Ta-da! And then we now know the mana. We now know the mana needs. This is 17 lands, slightly favoring black. What about the curve? What is a mana curve? You want to make sure that as the game goes, you are casting bigger and bigger spells, and you're following the pace of the game as it goes faster. So what I do is I look at the cost and I arrange them. 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, 4 and up cost. So we want to have a curve that goes like this. Well, in your case, like this. Marami dapat yung early cast so that eventually when my mana builds up, I can cast the heavier ones. So 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4 and up, 3, 4 and up. This is an X spell, so 2, 5 and up, 4 and up, 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5 and up, 5 and up, 3. I think this is a win. This is a good curve. As you can see, a majority of our spells, of our 23 spells, are in the 2 and the 3 slot. 2 and the 3 slot. So that means at worst, we're skipping our first or second turn lang. And then we're on the board. And then we're in game. These bigger spells, they have varying utility. Iba-iba gustong gawin yan. Sometimes they remove cards, sometimes they help you draw more cards, sometimes they bring back cards from the graveyard, things from here that have died, and they're up there. Hindi mo kailangang isipin yan. You know that in the first 3 turns, you can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're playing one of the 14 in your 23. You're gonna play something in the first 3 turns. That's what a mana curve is. That's what this shows you. And these are our 23 spells. And these are our lands. And you're ready to go. The rest of the cards you pulled, yung mga tinabi natin, they all go into your box. And in between your best of 3 rounds you play in the pre-release, you can switch out cards from your deck so that you can be better. If there's something that needs to be removed, like a weird enchantment, or you feel like your creatures need more boosts in combat, put this in. Take out something else, put this in. And that's a sideboard. That's what all the other cards in your box are for. But for now, we built an amazing deck, in my opinion, a black-white deck that follows bread. We picked up good bombs. We have a good amount of removal. Again, we have Ride's End. We have Sky Sovereign shooting creatures out of the sky. We have the Momentum Breaker that sacrifices creatures. We have Evasion. Again, some of our greatest creatures have flying. This gives flying. This has flying. Speed Demon has flying. This has flying. That's Evasion. And aggro. We can go aggro. Again, we have a great curve. We're playing in the early game plenty. And then we throw away all the duds. All this, we're not playing that. Those are duds. And now we're ready to play in our pre-release. Take your cards, put them in the box, and wait for your pairings. Enjoy the new set. I hope you enjoyed this journey through learning Magic the Gathering, getting the basics down, going with me as we built our pre-release deck. Let's go up top and let's wrap up this episode. And that is that. Hopefully you know the basics enough to do well in your pods of the pre-release for Final Fantasy, or know enough to play with your friends, whether it be Commander, 60-card formats, or otherwise. And hopefully you become a Magic player for life, just like me. If you enjoyed this and you haven't yet, make sure you click like and subscribe on this channel. Playcafe comes out with episodes of the games we play every week. Siyempre, hosted by yours truly. And you can visit us here in Upper McKinley in Tuscany, open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. and 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. on weekends. And who knows, we may bump into each other, we can play some games, or we can talk about the games we play. My name is Leo. You can reach out to me at leocastsph. Reach out to Playcafe online, playcafeph, or playcafeph.com. I will see you when I see you across the table.